things off, we have Marlies Hartmann from California. She's absolutely amazing. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to her.
Thanks, Trevor. Hi, guys. If we can have everybody that's here kind of take a little bit of a step in before we get started. I know, we're all going to have to hope that we wore deodorant this morning. And that way, if people happen to be walking by, they don't feel like they're going to be blocking this walkway behind you. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is me. I am Marlies Hartmann. I'm a MagMod ambassador. I live in Los Angeles, California. And today we're going to be talking about romantic lighting using the MagMod system. Something that if you ask people that know me, something they would tell you about me is that I have a very romantic style. I use romantic lighting in natural light when I use natural light, and I also use it when I don't have natural light available to me. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is show you a few photos of outdoor lighting using MagMod. These all only use one light. I'm using either the MagSphere, MagGrid, and Gel. And these are just a few examples of one light using those things outside. And I'm going to go over some of these photos in just a minute, but all of these are using off-camera light. And then I'm also going to show you a few indoor lighting samples using MagMod, also with one light. Guys, one light. Not doing anything super complicated here. Same things, same tools, MagSphere, MagGrid, and or Gel. And this is what you're able to accomplish using one light. All right? And again, I'm gonna go into a few of these photos to sort of break down how I shoot them. But first I wanna talk about romantic lighting when nature doesn't cooperate. All right, so when I started shooting, I was convinced that I was going to be a natural light photographer. I live in Southern California, where there is the most abundant, gorgeous natural light. But sometimes romantic lighting is not possible when nature is not there to help you out. Some of you might know this girl. Do you guys know who this is?
Charmy.
That is Charmy Pina. She is a Nikon ambassador. She's an amazing person. If you don't know her work or her, look her up, follow her. She flew from New Jersey to California because she wanted the M-Heart glowy photos, all right? So she came with her husband and her family. It was their 10-year wedding anniversary, and she said, give me that glowy photo. So this is what I showed her as an example. I said, this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna go at sunset. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be amazing. And this is what it looks like the day that we went. So as you can see, it's a little bit different than what she was hoping for and what I was hoping for, but she was only in town for that one night to do the shoot, so we had to come up with a backup plan to still give her that glowy photo that she wanted. So I took them to a spot down the mountain a little bit that had less fog. I set them up in front of some beautiful foliage. I brought in a lighting assistant with a monopod who brought their light right here behind the tree. I had them face each other. And we got Funset to the rescue. Funset is another word for fake sunset. And this is something I'm able to offer my clients when I don't have an actual sunset. So we went from this, we brought in our Funset, and we got this, okay? This is one light. It's coming through right above my frame. I'm using 135 millimeter wide open. I have all my settings down here if you guys want to see it. But that's what you're able to do with one light when you don't have the actual sun to make a romantic glowy photo. You think she was happy with this? Yes. All right, I had another couple that saw this photo. This is a natural light photo. And what happened was this couple lit incense their entire ceremony. So we had a light beam coming through. I sat them in the light beam. My other couple then said, we're gonna light incense our entire ceremony. And we're gonna also have a beautiful light beam that you're gonna sit us in, and it's gonna look beautiful and perfect, right? Unfortunately, we didn't have the exact same set of circumstances. But as the couple was leaving the church after we did our formal photos, we were able to make this. So we still had the atmosphere from the incense, which created this haze. We had a little bit of light coming through the window, and when I put one light in front of her, facing me, we were able to light up the atmosphere and create this hazy, glowy light. Guys, I'm not doing anything magical or special. I didn't even know what was gonna happen as far as the atmosphere. I didn't know how much incense was still in the church, but I could see there was a little bit of haze, and my throat was so sore from all the smoke that we were breathing the entire ceremony that I was hoping we would get something like this. As soon as we took one shot, I said, God, can we just try this really quick? If it sucks, we'll move out the church, right? This is what we got after our first shot. This was the first shot that we took. I had another couple that loved my star photo, right? They're like, we're eloping in Big Sur, where at night you can see the Milky Way, there's gonna be stars, it's gonna be absolutely beautiful, right? Same thing, we get there, we have dinner, they've already eloped, we have all these beautiful photos of them, we're coming back to the hotel, we're about to set up the star shot, and all this thick fog rolls in. So at that point, I can't make them a star photo. But what I can tell them is, hey, we've got all this cool fog, let's see what we can do with it. I said, guys, give me a couple minutes, we'll go out, we'll try it. If it doesn't work, we'll move on, right? We put one light behind the couple about 2 feet. We put a MagSphere and a MagGel on the light stand, and we just have it about waist high, pointing towards the camera, all right? We took one shot, I showed them the back of the camera. You think they're willing to spend a few more minutes with me to try and get this perfect shot? 100%. All right, this is how I make romantic lighting using the MagBox. So this was a couple that was eloping at a venue in downtown Los Angeles. And this place is literally a playground for photographers, but there's almost zero natural light. So what I did, this is my recipe. This took 5 minutes. I used the MagBox with the focus diffuser, the MagRing, MagShoe, and quarter CTO gel. First thing I did was set the ambient to create what we call a slate shot. And that is to make a shot without the MagBox in the photo. That also helps me determine what I want my ambient light to be. Then I add in the MagBox. So I just took my MagBox on the light stand with the focus diffuser and a quarter CTO gel, and I placed it in this little alcove right there. And then the last thing I did was combine the final image with that first slate shot that I took when I was setting my ambient light. So we go from this to this. I am not a Photoshop expert. I can do about 3 things in Photoshop, and that's one of them, right? So one more time, we went from that to that, right? Romantic light doesn't look like some harsh, unnatural light. It looks like we have what is available to them already, but it's taking the ambient light shot and making it look even more professional. All right, now that last one only took me 5 minutes. This one took us about 25 minutes. We used the MagBox with the focus diffuser, the MagRing, the MagShoe, and the quarter CTO gel. If you guys can't tell, quarter CTO gel is like one of my little magic secret weapons. So this is how many frames we took trying to get that one photo. It doesn't always happen in one shot. But what we did is we knew we couldn't pull the couple from the reception for a whole half hour, right? So I had my darling second shooter, Tanya Parada, who's here, and she's amazing also. And she stood in while we set the ambient light. And then I used one of the guests, who's also a photographer, and Tanya, my second shooter, so that we could figure out where we wanted to pose them and where we wanted the light. Then we decided to adjust the light to the other side, and we added in a small rim light. From there, we decided we were gonna position the MagBox for an easy Photoshop removal. Because if you look back, this is gonna be really hard to Photoshop out in post. If I have it here, I know I'm gonna be able to do that easily. You guys, I'm not kidding when I tell you I don't have good Photoshop skills. So I made my life easier ahead of time. See, that's where it is. Then we bring the couple in. From the time that we set the shot up till we brought the couple in, we only had them there for a few minutes. We had her add some movement so that the shot didn't feel too stagnant. And that's the final photo. So again, we went from this being our first frame to this. All right, this is one light using the MagBox. Okay, next we're going to talk about romantic lighting when architecture doesn't cooperate. So some of you have seen this photo in the MagMod group or just in other times you've watched me talk. And a lot of people have asked me how I created this photo. And what happened was I was shooting, this is the Santa Barbara Courthouse in California. It's a beautiful, beautiful room. The couple had just eloped in there. And there's these gorgeous windows on one side of the building streaming in light. This is what we did. You can see the light coming in over here. I had my assistant, Morgan, holding a monopod, lighting her on this side because I knew that I wanted light coming in on both sides, right? When I got home, I started cloning out Morgan, and it looked like this. And I felt like what didn't work for me, because I want my lighting to look natural, is there was light coming on him on this side that made sense, but there was no light source from this side. So she was lit, but it didn't look natural to me. So what I then did was my second skill in Photoshop was I mirrored this window onto this one so that now we had a light source and it looked justified and it made sense. Does that make sense? Yes? All right. So now I'm going to talk about one quick thing. I'm announcing today, right here for the first time, I will be holding a workshop in April, the 27th through the 29th. If you go onto my website, which is, learn more did not come up. So mhartphoto.com/workshop will show you details. You can sign up there. Right now, it's $100 to hold your spot. So we're only gonna have 12 spots available. If you want to hold one of those 12 spots, it's $100 from now until March 1st. That's the only deposit you would need to make to hold that spot. Okay, and then last, because some of you know I was on The Price is Right last year, right? Oh. Okay, I was on The Price is Right. I won a trailer, I won a computer, I won an air hockey table, I won a whole bunch of things, but I'm all about giving back and I'm all about having fun and winning. So one of you is going to get a $50 MagBucks certificate. And the person that's going to get it, if those sitting down will please stand up. In one of your boxes is the winning MagGrid. If there is a grid in your box, you've won $50 worth of MagBucks, and that's what you get for being so cool. We gotta ring you Joel! So Joel, just come up to me afterwards, okay. And you're gonna give me your email address, and I'll make sure that we get that for you.
Otherwise, I keep the MagGrid.
Yeah. I have a feeling that the $50 might be more valuable. Okay. Awesome, that's it.
Hey, you guys, now's your chance to pepper her with questions. So what kind of questions do you guys have for Marlies?
Yes.
What gel did you use for that first fake sunset photo with the fog?
Yeah, the first fake, she asked the question, yeah. I know, Trevor, I got it.
That was me, I said.
Was it also a quarter CTO gel? Because it looks really cool.
So her question was, what was the gel that I used for the fun set photo? So if you saw the photo of Charmy and her husband with the light coming through from behind that made it look like sunset, whenever I do a fun set photo, I will show you exactly what I use. You guys moved all this stuff off the table.
Oh, what are you looking for?
I need a sphere, and that's it. I just need a sphere. If I had caught it with the magnet, that would have been cool. Okay. So this isn't a full CTO, is it? This is a rose. Pretend this is a full CTO. And then I pop on a MagSphere. And so if I wanted Kelly right here to be in the sunset, and let's say she was facing Danielle, who's right here, I would have my assistant holding this just above the frame, pointing directly at the camera. Now, one of the things you have to note is you don't want to have a grid when you're doing fun set. Because with fun set, you're trying to create a huge, powerful light source like the sun. All right? And the other thing you want to do for fun set to work is you want your camera to be your setting to be as wide open as possible. So I usually, if I'm shooting with the 135, the Sigma 135, I'm having it all the way open at 1.8. And what that's going to do is create that flare that you would get same thing if you were shooting with natural light. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
What would you normally have your flash power on?
Oh, So it completely it depends. So first thing I always do, and if you guys are not doing this, this is like the first secret to shooting with off-camera flash. You always, if you're going to shoot flash, you shoot flash with your flash off. If you start with your flash on, you're gonna be trying to change so many settings at the same time that it's never going to work. So the first thing I do, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a flash shot. What do? I turn off my flash. I set the light that I want, right? I determine the ambient light, or maybe I don't want any ambient light. Then I turn my flash on, I determine what my settings are, and then from there, I kind of adjust to get it exactly how I want it. Does that make sense? Oh, and then last thing, you guys, I know that I mentioned that I'm having the workshop in April. I will also be speaking in October 27th through 31st in France at a retreat called Envision Retreat. So if you're interested in going to a 13th century chateau and learning about lighting and other things, I'll be speaking for 3 hours there as well. Does anybody else have any other questions? Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Yes.
You on the staircase photo that you shot with Tanya.
She's asking on the staircase photo that I shot with Tanya when I showed you guys all 90 frames.
Did you end up using a rim light behind that?
So in the final image, there was a rim light, but what happened when I brought both of them in, because they were cuddled up so close, you can see a little bit of the rim separating them from the back staircase. But at that point, we determined that what was more important was that we were getting the front light right and we were getting the movement light, but there was a little bit of rim light still creating separation. Had we had more time to play with it, we probably would have honed in on the rim light as well. But I think what's important to notice is that you can make these amazing photos with one light. You don't have to do things like with all these complicated color gels. People that can do them are amazing. I think it's really important to learn how to use them, but one light can do so much that people don't even realize, and then they get so hung up on, I can't do this unless if I'm using 15 lights, and I've got this and that gel, and I'm lighting the foreground, and I'm lighting the background. You can do amazing things with one light. Yeah. Yes, Tanya.
I've always been curious, what makes you decide between using a MagBox versus a MagSphere when you do certain portraits? What's your thought process? So your question is, what's the difference between using a MagBox versus a MagSphere when you're taking portraits? Yeah, so what's really great about the MagBox is that it's creating a very soft light source. Usually if I know that I can't get the box close enough to my clients in the photo, then the MagSphere is usually a better option for me. Because the MagBox, you want that light, the fall off of light that you're getting from this larger light source is going to create a beautiful light as long as it's close to them. Once it gets to a far enough distance, it's harder to even tell the difference between the MagBox and the MagSphere. So if I'm gonna set up the MagBox, it's either because I'm taking a tighter portrait of my couple, or it's because I know that after the fact, I will be able to clone out the MagBox in post so that I can still have the soft light without the light showing in the photo. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Everybody's good? Are you guys happy to be here at WPPI? All right, guys, thank you again. My name is Marlies Hartmann. If you have any other questions or you want to say hi or give me a hug today, I'll be walking around. Thank you so much.